At the end of Pinocchio, Jiminy Cricket says an interesting line that contradicts what audiences saw at the beginning of the movie.
Well, this is practically where I came in.
In today's video, we are going to take a look at this line, why it's contradictory, what the contradiction shows, and what makes the line have some truth to it. This line ties the whole underlying concept of the movie together, delivering a deeper meaning than just children's entertainment. The 1940 movie Pinocchio is known for a couple of its famous lines.
Prove yourself brave, truthful, and unselfish, and someday you will be a real boy.
Give a bad boy enough rope and he'll soon make a jackass of himself.
And a few others. But right now, we're going to focus on a line that comes at the end of the movie when everyone is celebrating that most people overlook. It comes from none other than Jiminy Cricket.
This is practically where I came in.
First, we're going to look at the wording, and then the context and imagery surrounding it, and what this tells us about the deeper meaning Walt was trying to get across in the film. In Jiminy Cricket's utterance,
Well, this is practically where I came in.
the word practically is what stands out. The word practically is synonymous with almost, nearly, or close to. It references something being in the same essence but still lacking exactness. And also, what does Jiminy Cricket mean by where I came in? Didn't Jiminy Cricket come in through the door? While yes, a cricket did come through the door of Geppetto's house at the beginning, but the Jiminy Cricket that came through the door wasn't exactly the same one as the one who helps Pinocchio on his journey. The hobo version of him that is seen at the beginning of the movie has no voice of his own, is having a hard time, and is dressed very shabby. This is not the exact version of Jiminy Cricket we're looking at in this video. Also, once Jiminy Cricket delivers his line, he walks over to the window, which leads us into now analyzing imagery and context. The context here is everybody celebrating, and the word practically. This final scene gives us an amalgamation of all the combined imagistic nuances that brought us to this exact Jiminy Cricket. Image-wise, we have all the music boxes playing in harmony, Cleo and Figaro kissing, and the opening of the window. The dancing and music boxes have already been covered in another video I did about Geppetto's house, but Cleo and Figaro are dancing as well. Cleo and Figaro are symbolic. Fish are symbolistic of the flow of life, which is what they represented in ancient times. And cats, because they can see in the dark, are symbolic of having vision. The act of Cleo and Figaro kissing is showing that they are closely acquainted, familiar, and very close friends. These close friends, Vision and Flo, dance together and work together to celebrate Pinocchio. If we reference the beginning of the movie, as this is what Jiminy Cricket's line is hinting at, we notice this is where a window also gets opened. This is where the Blue Fairy comes in. This is where Jiminy Cricket becomes exactly who he is in this final scene. He's well dressed, has a voice, and speaks with the Blue Fairy. But what he says to the Blue Fairy is important as well. When we first encounter the Blue Fairy in her most famous line, one of the things she tells Pinocchio is to be unselfish, which is exactly what Jiminy Cricket does in this scene. When he walks out of the open window, he thinks of Pinocchio and not of himself. This enables him to get his badge and become a certified conscience, much like how Pinocchio goes from being a puppet to a real boy. These visuals, the dancing, the celebrating, and the open window, all happen at the beginning of the movie, and all happen around the same time at the end of the movie. This final scene is the condensed delivery of how to be a real person. But there's a key to it. None of these things happen before the Blue Fairy comes to visit. And this is important because there is no other main female figure in the movie. Stromboli is a solo puppet master who is fairly hostile. The coachman is the embodiment of malevolence. And even bareheaded Geppetto has a fairly dismissive nature. It is only by incorporating the feminine that any benevolence is had. It is the blue fairy, the feminine, that bestows admirable human qualities on Pinocchio and the story that enables endurance, a conscience that guides, and goodwill. The blue fairy's transformation of Pinocchio is not just from puppet to person. It is also Walt's way of transforming this beloved children's story to a profound modern myth that's about more than just a cricket and a puppet. Thank you for watching The Message That Got Mythed, and until next decoding,
Well, this is practically where I came in.
stay open-minded and vigilant, my friends. There's a lot to be seen.